Title: TIFU by swatting a stinging bug in my bed, barehanded. Going to bed yesterday, in the dark, something stung my foot as I slipped under the covers. As I sat up and reached for the light, it stung my other leg, then moved up to my thigh and stung again. Lights on now, I reached down and began swatting at it and attempting to swipe it away from with my hand. Each time I tried to find the culprit, it would viciously sting my hand. I discovered that it was hard and at least a couple of inches long. I was thinking scorpion or one of those giant man-eating bees invading the northwest. 3 stings on the hand and I had located it. It was under the sheet. 2 more stings as I attempted to kill it while it was still trapped. Finally and reluctantly, I pulled back the sheet, ready to deal with whatever monstrosity escaped. Title: TIFU when my ex-girlfriend walked in to find me in the shower with my mum. In keeping with the TIFU tradition, this didn't happen today but around 20 years ago, when I was 19 years old, but it's still a classic. So, I was out one night drinking and generally having a good time when I bumped into my ex at a bar. After quite a few beers, I convinced her to come back to my folks' place where I was living at the time. Needless to say, we had a fun night fucking like exes. Next morning I wake up with a massive hangover, a huge dose of regret and my ex asleep on my pillow. I felt horrible and couldn't think of anything worse than cuddling and dredging up memories of a relationship I definitely didn't want to be in. I needed to escape, so I told her was going to take a shower. So off I went. I get to the bathroom to find my mum was in there taking a bath. What to do? I really didn't want to head back to bed and hang out with my ex. So given the shower is separate from the bath, like 1 meter away, I make the fateful decision to interrupt my mum and ask if she's okay with me taking a shower. We're a pretty cool, liberal family. It's not like we take baths together, but we're pretty relaxed. So I jump in the shower and decide to sit down and nurse my hangover in relative privacy. That is, once seated on the floor I can't even see my mum. She may as well not even be there. Next thing I know, I see the bathroom door open and my ex saunters in completely naked to surprise me. Since she can hear the shower running, she's really not expecting to find my mum splayed out naked in the bath. Mum shrieks. Ex shrieks and then storms out and slams the door. Title: TIFU by giving my colleague a nervous breakdown by predicting the future. Happened 2 weeks ago and concluded this morning. Me and my colleagues have a good morning call Mondays where we just have a chat about the weekend, talk about the football, rugby and interesting things we have done. All chat and banter going well when we start to talk about kids. Couple of my colleagues have twins. One has grown-up twins, I think 23 and 1, let's call him James, just had twins in November last year, and they were discussing the common tropes of having them and how to help out each other. I jokingly said to James that if his wife gets pregnant again there is a chance of twins or even triplets. Laughing I said, just imagine having 5 kids under 2 in your house, when James laughed nervously and we carried on with our conversation about other things. Roll on Tuesday and I was scheduled to have a call with James and he wasn't answering his phone. Within 30 minutes his boss called me and told me that James will be off for a bit while dealing with some family issues. Cue today when we have our good morning call and James is back on the call. We all ask if he is okay and he replies, yes, but I have some news. Confused we asked if he wanted to expand on it. A month ago his wife found out she was pregnant again. 2 weeks ago on the Tuesday morning was her 12-week scan. It apparently never crossed James's mind he could have twins again and went into panic mode after I joked about it on our good morning call. The scan came and it turned out he was having triplets. James went into a panic spiral, as you would. He took some time off to get his head around it and then luckily had a week off for holiday to spend with his wife to talk about everything. He is so happy right now, but, rightly so, his initial reaction was to panic thinking about have 5 kids in the house. We are all chipping for him for a 3-seat buggy and so he can buy some baby clothes, as he only has baby clothes for 2 children and will need another set for number 3. TL, doctor, I joked on a call my colleague could have triplets. Next day colleague's wife found out she was having triplets and my colleague went into a panic spiral as he already has nearly 1-year-old twins. Title: TIFU by forgetting my name in the NICU. My daughter was just born a couple days ago, but has been in the NICU just for some relatively minor issues. So I come up to visit her as I do several times a day, but this morning it's a nurse I've never seen before, and I'm a dad she's never seen before. I'm with my daughter nuzzling her and holding her head when this nurse rushes over and asks who I am. It might be a good time to point out that daughter looks a lot like mom, Asian, and not at all like dad, white. So she asks who I am, and I pause for a solid 3 seconds, before looking down at my name tag and saying just my first name like a dope. Not dad, not the baby's last name, just my first name. We're supposed to have identification bands with a number matching the baby. Well, I took mine off because of course I've memorized the 5-digit number. And when you phone to get in, if you know it, it's not like you have to show it. So then she pretty obviously suspicious and starts checking all of baby's information, and understandably checks the number I give her all the while keeping a watchful eye on me. But after confirming with the front desk of the unit all was fine. I guess I can be glad they exercise some suspicion in such a situation. And if it wasn't me I would want to know they could make that determination. Title: TIFU by eating the devil's chicken. So this just happened. I'm sitting in my car typing this with 6% battery, trying to charge my phone. A few hours ago I finished my job and decided to grab dinner. I decided on Popeyes. It was an hour before they close. I pull up, order my food, and get up to pay. I get handed my receipt and the order number is 666. I laugh and send the pic to my friend saying, "This chicken is going to kill me." I get home and it's by far the best chicken I've had from Popeyes. 30 minutes go by and all of a sudden the wind outside picks up to 80 miles per hour and tears my 2 trees in front of my house in half. The wind is blowing branches into cars and everywhere. I live right across the street from a local college and none of the students can leave because half of a 30 feet is blocking the road. All of a sudden it starts to pour rain and lightning. 10 minutes later half of the city's power is now out. I'm now sitting here regretting making a deal with that delicious chicken devil BC. I have to get up in the morning and make a road trip 4 hours out of town and my phone's about to die. Thanks Midwest for the obscene weather and I'm sorry my fellow city folk for making the power go out for some delicious chicken. I ate the devil's chicken and now half my city's without power. Title: TIFU by throwing a cockroach on a family having dinner. This didn't actually happen today, but a couple years ago when my hubby and I were vacationing in a condo in Hawaii. A very high-end, expensive beachfront condo on Maui. I have to preface this with the fact I'm an Aussie, so pretty used to creepy crawlies, and cockies don't bite you and send you to hospital, unlike spiders or snakes. We joke in Oz that everything wants to kill you, the harmless ones just make you sick versus dying. I grew up on the coast where large tropical cockies can, and do, fly into your home. These aren't the little gross ones you see in dirty kitchens. They're large native bugs. Hubby is from the Pacific Northwest, USA. There are no big bugs here. His experience with tropical flying big bugs is non-existent. Anyhow, we check in and head to our room on the 7th floor, grab a cocktail and head to the lanai to take in the sunset. I'm settled down, barefoot, perusing our vacation guides. Hubby suddenly asks, "What the hell is that?" I look to where he's pointing to a corner of the lanai. I shrug my shoulders and say, "It's just a cockroach." His face goes white. "It's 2 inches long." I shrug again and ignore it. It wasn't that big, and nothing that would warrant me putting down my tasty cocktail to deal with in my opinion. You know, priorities. Then the slow realization came to him. Wait. We're on the 7th floor. How the hell did it get up here? Cue my third shrug. Yeah. They fly. His face was priceless. Shock, horror, revulsion. A huge cockroach. That flies. Get rid of it. Now, being the person with the most creepy crawly experience, I get that I'm the designated bug exterminator in our marriage. But still, I'm barefoot and I'd have to put my cocktail down. deep sigh. Clearly neither of us can relax until I do something. Finally I take pity on him since he's freaked out. I get up with a brochure in hand to deal with the uninvited party crasher. And here's where the TIFU occurred. I scoop the confused Kaka up on the brochure and turn around. Hubby is now standing on the chair I just vacated chanting, "Get rid of it." So being the ever-helpful wife, I tossed the Kaka over the railing to return it to freedom. Right onto the family below us who were having a romantic sunset dinner on their lanai. Cue screaming and rapidly moving furniture from below as I muttered something apologetic in their direction about flying tropical bugs, and returned to my chair. I finished my cocktail in peace. Not sure what happened to the confused Kaka.